Good morning. Thank you guys for coming. We've got some great news today, and we wanted to share it with the community as well as the media. Last night, the Atlanta Police Department and the U.S. Marshals and Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force apprehended Brandon Jerome Smith, date of birth January 21st, 1997, 18 years of age. He was arrested and charged with armed robbery, aggravated assault for the home invasion that occurred at 1797 Sumter Street. I want to commend our Zone 2 Commander, Major Hobbs, and also Assistant Commander Captain Steed, and the investigative team led by Lieutenant Hensel on the work that they did. They really worked consistently and nonstop on this, as well as our complex case squad from CID. They worked hard to solve this case. They all worked nonstop to ensure that this suspect was apprehended. Mr. Smith has been identified as the shooter. We have recovered the handgun that we believe was used in the incident. It was a .40 caliber handgun. We are also still in process of identifying the three others that was involved in this home invasion. We're encouraging them to turn themselves into the police as soon as possible. This arrest was made possible on a part from a Crime Stoppers tip. The community has been extremely helpful with providing more than a dozen tips within the past 48 hours. Crime Stoppers is a great vehicle for sending in crime tips anonymously that people get credit for, and we received more than 17,000 tips, and we've made more than 1,000 arrests alone from this program. I would like to also thank the special assistance to Keith Booker and his team, the U.S. Marshal's Office, the Regional Task Force, and working with us to pick this individual up. Now I'll turn it over. Initially, Keith Booker was going to be here, but he has.
He snuck in.
Chief Booker from the U.S. Marshal is here. He's going to make a quick comment, and then we'll take some quick questions from you guys, and we'll take some questions on some other issues that we're dealing with also.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
I'm speaking, but great partnership we have with Atlanta Police Department, and this shows how it works. We've been partnered up on the Southeast Regional Fugitive Task Force for 12 years now, working with them every day. We have a number of investigators and assigned to the task force, and they were all out on this scene last night. Crime Stoppers, as the chief said, is a great program. That's where this tip originated. We work with Crime Stoppers Atlanta every single day, and like the chief said, it works out more often than not. We're glad to be a part of this, and we're still in process of furthering the investigation for the other three suspects.
Can you tell us about his arrest, how it went down?
We had some information. Want to do that, Chief?
No, I like for Keith to do
Okay.
it.
We're not finding it to you.
We, based on the, I'll tell you the details that I know, is based on the information that came in through the Crime Stoppers. That was developed. We had somebody that was working with us, put us in a specific area. We're able to identify the subject walking down the sidewalk with two other individuals. We're able to effect the arrest that way.
So he was just walking down the sidewalk nonchalantly. Could you paint a picture for us of what happened?
Pretty much. Do you know where they were going, Jim?
We had a location where they were traveling to. We set up en route to that location. Once we got eyes on them at a different place, once they got to a good area which was well lit, it was boxed in.
You don't need to go on camera. We'll reiterate it.
Yeah.
So he obviously didn't know that he had a sketch out of him.
Well, I don't know about that, but what Inspector Joyner just said was that they had a location he was traveling to. They were able to get eyes on him, set up in a good place to take him down where it would be safe for the public and safe for him and safe for us, and we're able to arrest him that way.
Did he fight?
No.
Was he headed to some hideout? Was he going to a store? What?
Just going to somebody's house.
Was the handgun recovered on him?
Yes.
What about these other two individuals? Are they possible
that.
suspects connected to this? Or
Well, we have some additional information on the three. We're not providing that information as that is part of the investigation that we're working. We're confident that we're encouraging those three individuals to turn themselves in. We have good leads concerning who they are, and we're still working that.
Chief, do
With
you
the-
have a motive at this point?
Hold on one second.
But with that Crime Stoppers tip, was that because of that sketch they released, and that's really what helped? I mean, I know we had some identifying with the
Right. It
program
was
of his face. I
the,
mean,
the sketch, and obviously that was it, that we received the tips on the Crime Stoppers. That was the biggest tip. We've received more than 12 various different tips from Crime Stoppers on that particular event.
after seeing that.
After
sketch.
seeing that sketch, that's correct.
Sir, at this point, do we know if they were picked randomly? What was the, I mean, was it trying to rob this family, or?
Well, I have not been involved in the details of the investigation. I don't know if that we want to, you know if we want to provide that information?
He was interviewed until early morning hours. We haven't had a chance to really decipher the information. Give us about a day and we'll have that information.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we have, this is really, really fresh. It occurred early in the morning, last night, this morning. And so let us get enough information so that we can talk about motive if these individuals targeted. And we'll get that to you as soon as we can be prepared to provide that to the media.
So do we know how Mr. Flash is doing at this point? We understand he underwent surgery and did take some steps. Do we know how he's doing now?
I don't have an update on that. I don't know if
He was walking with a walker this morning.
Okay, he was up walking with the walker this morning, according to the team. I do want to take a quick minute also, if there are no other questions concerning this particular arrest.
I have one
Yes.
question, and this could be for either a marshal or one of you, chief, or with someone with APD. How unusual is it to see someone who has such a distinctive identifying feature in a piercing in the middle of his forehead to be out in public after this crime that has sort of captivated people, not just here in Atlanta, but nationwide, and for him to just be captured on a sidewalk going to a buddy's house?
Well, it's an 18-year-old young man. Did have only one cycle. He was arrested one time for entering an auto in Brookhaven. Had a warrant for FTA, a failure to appear warrant. Just 18, young and dumb, if I can be as crass as that. Where was he going to go? We'll provide a picture for you guys, but if you want to, this is a picture of the young man as of last night. But the fact is, where was he going? 18 years old, and he's a typical, the typical process that we go through on what a perpetrator unfortunately look like in our city. So.
So do you think he's involved in any other similar crimes of this violent nature?
We are working to see if there are any other related crimes that he participated in. And that we will follow up on that. If there are no other questions, I really wanted to talk a little bit about the officer-involved shooting that took place overnight also. This morning around 4 a.m., Zone 3 units attempted to stop a carjacking suspect from Forest Park. This particular suspect noticed the police behind him and began to accelerate. After a short pursuit, the suspect crashed into a gas meter near Maury and Jonesboro. As the officers were approaching the vehicle on foot, the suspect reversed the car and almost hit one of our officers. Hit the patrol car, and then we're lucky to have the officer alive. The truck then launched forward, hitting a gas meter again. At this point, the officers are behind the truck, not quite sure what would happen. The suspect then punched the gas again, reversing the truck towards the officers. That's when 3 Atlanta police officers discharged their firearms. The suspect's car ended up on top of the patrol car. The suspect is Jackie Harris, sustained a gunshot wound to the upper part of his body. He was transported to Grady Hospital in stable condition. Mr. Harris has an outstanding warrant and was also charged with possession of stolen vehicle, criminal damage to property, interference with the government property, and a host of other traffic offenses. further charges may be pending based on the investigation. The 3 officers are on administrative leave pending the OPS investigation as according to our standard operation procedure. Just a quick comment about Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris is a 40-year-old suspect, has at least 23 cycles of crime that he's been arrested for over the last 20 years. And we feel very lucky that our officers were not injured in that whole process last night. And we'll take some questions on that if you have any questions concerning that.
So he was
shooting.
using the truck as a deadly weapon, or they
That's
actually
correct.
felt their lives were threatened?
That is correct. The individual did not have a firearm with him at the time of this incident, but the officers were threatened by the vehicle, and ultimately they decided to protect themselves by shooting to stop the vehicle and the assault.
Any indication that he was under the influence of something?
We do not have any of that detail as of yet. The individual was in surgery at about 6 o'clock this morning, so I'm sure that we can get all of that at that time.
And the condition of the officers?
The 3 officers were not hurt. They are, as you can imagine, pretty shaken up. They've been relieved, and they're on administrative duty pending the investigation from OPS. Any other questions?
Good.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you.